Hello and welcome to another edition of AttractWell Office Hours. I'm Coach Ashley, joined today by founder of AttractWell, Greg Kilwine. Hey, Greg.
Hello, everyone. We're glad to see you today.
We're thrilled to have you here today. We have a brand new feature on the AttractWell platform that we'll be sharing with you. We'll get into some context of how to use it and, of course, see it in action. We do have a live work review as well today. So if you are coming in to learn more about this or ask us any questions or work on anything that you'd like to today, head over into the chat and let us know what that is. Let us know where in the world you are. We are always excited to learn more about the amazing people who show up here on these weekly calls. If you're new, welcome. We are here every Thursday from 2 p.m. Eastern time here in the US. And of course, we're welcoming everyone from all over the world who uses AttractWell or who is looking to downsize all those different pieces of tech you may have working for you in your business right now, simplify with one system to run everything you need in your business. And one of the services that you can now scratch off the list of things that you might be paying for elsewhere is an AI writer. We now have AI writing included with your AttractWell account. So we're going to get into what that looks like today. And of course, talk about anything else you guys are wanting to learn more about and work on our call. I do have some slides that we're going to go over here today. But before we get into that, welcome Paradise, Victoria, BC. That sounds amazing. Phoenix, Arizona, snowy northern Michigan, Buffalo, New York, Maine. I'm currently in Pennsylvania. Greg's in Fargo, North Dakota. We are thrilled to have you guys here today. Awesome. So if you don't know AttractWell, welcome. We are an all-in-one platform to help you run your business. As someone who is an expert or a creator, you of course need a place to house your contacts, to connect with your contacts, to keep track of your business, to collect leads, to nurture leads, and of course, to automate all of the things that happen in between. And so, of course, you'll find that kind of information on our live calls here, as well as on our YouTube channel, where you can find the recordings from these live calls we do every week. So let's head over to, we're going to get out of video for now so we can get into our slides and talk about writing with AI, and then we'll come back out and take your questions. And of course, as promised, we do have a live work review today as well. So let's talk about this AI powered copywriting. And I see maybe just a show of hands. Were any of you on our previous Chat GPT training? We did that a few weeks ago. We talked about how you can use Chat GPT, some of the really cool things that you can do with it. Today, we are talking about how you can really incorporate a very similar technology into your AttractWell and what you actually do here with your system. So today we'll talk about AI-powered copywriting and ideation with this new feature. So we'll get into this feature, of course, suggested uses for it, best practices for using it, and then, of course, how to go and use it. We'll go in action and show how it works. And then we'll get into some live help and Q&A. So if you are here today and you have questions about anything, regardless of whether they pertain to today's topic, please head over to the Q&A, add your questions, and of course, we will make space to work with you on this call. And of course, if you are watching this as a replay in the future, if you want to join us on a call like this one, it's again 2 p.m. every Thursday Eastern time. You can go to attractwell.com/work review. And when you do that, you can actually sign up for a live review session on a call like this one. And if you just want to join a call, you can go to attractwell.com/office hours. And if you are looking for a hand, if you're looking for help, you want to get things done more quickly, you want an expert eye, you can go to attractwell.com/concierge, learn more about our team and how they can help you create the website and systems that you want running for your business. All right, so who saw our ChatGPT training, or tell us in the chat, are you using ChatGPT for any aspect of your business? And if so, how are you using it? Are you writing blog posts? Are you getting ideas for emails or for lead magnets, website copy? What does that look like for you? So you now have a similar tool that lives inside of your AttractWell account, and it already knows that you're a business owner who's writing copy for things like a website or an online class, a sales presentation, a sales page, maybe social media posts, funnels for marketing or sales, and then of course, email or text to your leads or to your clients. So the The Write with AI tool is a really great way for you to ideate. So to think about and sort of explore the different things that you can be creating with your content and communications, and then to actually go and create those things, to have a jumping off point for you, to really save time in the writing process. Because let's be real, most of us didn't come into the work that we're doing right now with the intention to be copywriters, right? So we're going to use this for ideation for things like creating blog posts, because we do need to have published content on our websites, for lead magnets. So this could be guides or ideas for video series or ebooks, things like that. You can come up with ideas for subject lines, messages for campaigns, or even ways that you can talk about what you do, who you help, and how. If you feel like you struggle with finding the right language, you can actually have it come up with a few ideas for you, and you can pick the one you like the most. And of course, subject lines, you want to be able to send emails that people will click on and open, right? You can have lesson titles for a course. You can generate those here, even entire outlines for a course that you might create, promotional ideas for a course that you've created. Or if you are just simply wanting to send out a message to somebody that you have fallen out of touch with in one way or another, or maybe they fall into a particular category of your business, such as maybe a past client, and you are wanting to re-engage with new communication, you can even ask for ideas to do that. So once you know what you want to create, you can have AttractWell's AI writer create it for you. So you can use this Write with AI tool to create your campaigns, right? So those are drip messages, saved replies, which are messages that you can create one time and use as many times as you want into the future, sort of like a template, but unique to your business. So those can be texts or emails, and you can use Write with AI to come up with the subject lines for those texts and emails. Your blog posts as well, you can have the Write with AI tool come up with the entire blog post content, its title. You can have it auto generate an excerpt of your blog post so that you can easily pop that into the excerpt section. And you can even get SEO settings, right? So that you can actually go back and make sure that you're hitting the right keywords, that your meta description is well written, and you could even apply category tags to your blog posts in keeping with what it shows. If you have events, or you intend to include events live, online, or elsewhere with how you promote your business, you can come up with those in AttractWell as well. And of course, your website copy. So this could be your homepage, sales pages, landing pages, and other parts of your funnel, right? It can also be online courses. You can use the Write with AI tool to come up with entire outlines for your online course, the descriptions once you are actually building it in AttractWell, the description for the class itself, the description for the vault, where maybe you have a program that you're running, but the online class isn't the only component of what your clients are receiving. You can have those additional descriptions written by AI in our system as well. If you're not sure of what to say in a given lesson, you can have it write your lesson copy for you. Discussion prompts, you can have it write those for you as well. And then finally, your lesson titles for your online courses. And that's really just a very brief overview. There's so many things you can do with this. And I want to encourage you here on the call today, head over into the chat. What are you using this for? Maybe you're already using it with ChatGPT, but now you don't have to open a new window, right? And ChatGPT doesn't necessarily already know that you are writing from the perspective of a business owner creating copywriting for your business, right? AttractWell knows that about you, right? And so the AI we have embedded knows that about you as well. So it's already kind of pre-oriented in that direction for you. So I do want to share, before we get into this feature and showing you how to use it, I do want to go over a couple of important best practices for you. First things first, you want to use what you generate with AI as a framework. You always want to read and edit the results. And there's a couple of reasons for this. The primary one being you want to be effective. And the reason why you have content is to show that you have expertise and you have a perspective that's valuable to the reader that you are trying to attract. And if it sounds like a robot wrote it, it's probably not going to convert the way that you want it to, right? So you do need to go back and make sure that it sounds like you. Another thing, big reason why you want to go back and check the work that's produced is that AI does not always produce correct results. It's kind of extraordinary what you can do with this, but it's not always spot on. And then finally, AI is not always 100% completely up to date. So there could be some, potentially slightly outdated information. You just want to make sure that it's actually the content that you are wanting to include. So use this as a jumping off point. If you really don't love the idea of sitting down and writing 1,000 words for a blog post, let it do the writing for you, and then you can go back and make modifications to make it sound like you. It'll take you a lot less time than staring at a blank page and trying to come up with those 1,000 words. And of course, once you have, let's just, again, using the blog post as an example here, once you have that created, you can actually copy and paste that content into our Write with AI tool and ask it to do things like create a blog post title for this, or write an email that invites someone who is my subscriber to click the link and read this blog post that I wrote, right? So that's something that I want to make sure that you know to do, that you can actually copy and paste what you've already created with AI or otherwise, and tell it to write something based on what you supply there. And you can, if you kind of like what it's come up with, but maybe you want it different, you can actually ask it to rewrite based on parameters that you choose. So maybe rewrite this in a more happy tone, rewrite this in a more professional tone, or something like that, right? Finally, we want to make sure that we're really clear on what we're asking for. So the things like the voice that it's writing in. So from the perspective of a woman in her 40s who's a health coach who's overcome Hashimoto's, that could be the perspective here that we're providing. The tone, is she serious? Is it fun? Is it bubbly, right? Include this kind of information, and you will actually see some really interesting outputs. You can even make it write as a pirate, right? So there are fun ways that you can use this as well. And then importantly, you want to give it parameters. So again, using blog posts as an example here, you want to tell it to write greater than 1,000 words, right? If you want to have a blog post. So word count, be clear. If you're giving it a perspective in the voice of, you want to make sure, especially again, depending on what it is that you're writing, make sure that it knows who you're writing for, who's the reader. And then if you are in any of the content that you're asking it to create, if you are going to be offering a lead magnet, an opt-in, a freebie, something like that at the end, then of course you want to tell it to do that, and it will. And if, again, going back to blog posts, because I really feel like this is one of the most powerful ways you can actually get into content creation without it taking up all of your available time, is that it can actually supply you with keywords as well. If you are asking it to create SEO settings for a blog post that you write, but you can actually predetermine, if you've done keyword research, you can say, I want to write, write a blog post greater than 1,000 words that explores the correlation between lack of sleep and weight gain from the perspective of a woman in her 40s who's overcome Hashimoto's and is and coaches other women with that diagnosis, right? And be sure to use the keywords this and this and this, and it'll actually go through and make sure that's the case. And where I've tested this, it's done such a great job. It's included the keywords as sort of like subheaders or titles of sections, which is exactly what you want to do with SEO. You want to actually make those headers, right? So you can provide all of these kinds of parameters and really come up with something awesome. So let's go check this out in AttractWell. Let's go see it in action. And of course, feel free, if you have questions along the way here, let us know. We are more than happy to show you examples of how you can make this work for you. And of course, we can explore any specific things that you would like to create. So the first thing that I want to draw your attention to, and this is really more for ideation. So when you're trying to come up with ideas for blog posts or events or marketing or something like that, you can actually look right over here in your dashboard, and Write with AI is right up here at the top. This is a great place to go to just explore ideas. So we're going to say, I am a health coach who, let's see, I'm a health coach in my 40s who has overcome Hashimoto's. And let's see, we'll say, I work with women in high stress careers on finding balance in their lives after receiving the same diagnosis. What are some ideas for blog posts that might get her attention? Or get the attention, I'll be more specific. And I'm going to be even more specific. What are 10 ideas for blog posts that might get the attention? So you see how I went in with a little bit less specific info, but I'm going back and I'm actually tweaking a bit to be even more specific about what I'm asking for. So we want to give it a minute, and it's going to give us a list. Here we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I'm actually going to copy all of these. You can go copy to clipboard. And I'm going to go into a notes app because I'm ideating right now. And it's a good idea for you to actually like put your ideation into, don't just leave it all in AttractWell. You need a notebook, right? So I'm opening my notes app and I'm writing down these 10 ideas. So I'm going to say this one here that says how to manage, let me see, the connection between stress and Hashimoto is what you need to know. Or actually, no, here's a better one. 5 ways to naturally boost your thyroid function. Okay, so now I'm actually going to copy what I wrote in here to this top part because this is important. We've given this context. So now I have a blog post idea. Let's go over to our blog post and let's create one. So we're going to go to write post. And we're going to head over here. I'm going to tell it about me again. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to grab this blog post title. And I'm going to tell it, write a greater than 1,000-word blog post about 5 ways to naturally boost your thyroid function. And let's see what it comes up with. It is going to take just a couple of minutes, like it can be a couple of minutes, not usually a full couple minutes, but similar to ChatGPT, it does need just a little bit of time to write, especially if you're creating something longer like I'm doing right here. But what I want to show you is how you can really build off of what you are creating here. So once we have the body of this content created, and of course, again, once we copy it into our editor so that you have your post, you do pretty please want to make sure that you go through, read everything that's there, modify it to your own language. If you are someone who is maybe writing about a similar topic to what I'm sharing here, it could be very effective for you to even come back to the AI and ask it to come up with some links to supported studies or supporting studies to some of the information that's shared here. Definitely recommend that, again, don't use this as just like a quick cheat code. Use it as a way to be really effective, right? So here is our great big post here. I'm going to actually add this to the editors. We're going to go straight to the editor here, and you can see this. Pretty cool. Let me go back over here, and I'm going to copy to clipboard. And I'm going to come over here and ask it to write a compelling headline for this. Actually, no, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do come up with SEO settings for this blog post. And what it's going to do is actually come up with some keywords for you. And you can actually go back and copy in the content of this blog post and ask it to, you could ask it to rewrite this blog post featuring these SEO keywords, right? So you've got Let me see. Let's see. Sometimes it doesn't give you exactly what you want the first time. Because again, it's not a perfect machine. It's pretty impressive, but it doesn't always, like, sometimes you have to modify what you put in to get out what you want. Right. So you can create these SEO settings. You can actually ask it specific things like to write an SEO optimized title for this blog post. You can ask it to, here we go. There's our meta description, right? So this is something that you're actually going to want to put further down on the page here, right? So if we go to advanced options, there's your excerpt, there's your meta description, right? So it's actually giving you the content that you can put here. But what about this excerpt? Check this out. You actually don't need to do anything other than click here to create an automatic summary. Obviously, you're going to want to do that after you have modified this and made it your own, right? So let's scroll down here and click this. And it's actually going to write a summary for your blog post from which you can grab maybe the first paragraph to use as an excerpt. And that's going to save you, again, a ton of time. And I just release you from having to come up with that creative stuff if that's not your thing. Now, once we have that done, we can, of course, take the body of this blog post as well and ask it to come up with an email for us, which I'll show you in just a second. So here we go. This is a little bit of a long summary. So what I'm going to do is copy this. I like this part. And I'm going to, and you can actually go straight to add to excerpt. But since I've already copied that here, let me just pop down here. You can paste directly into here. And you're good to go. So now you have this excerpt ready and you don't have to wonder about what you're going to add here. Now I'm going to go back up here and just copy all of this blog post. And maybe we've published this, right? I want to go over and mail my subscribers about this. So if I go to my contacts and I filter for newsletter, I can filter. And of course, well, if you had contacts here, you could. This is a dummy account. Let's pretend like this person is on my list. We're going to go to mail and I'm going to, right here, ask AI to help me with this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, write an email to my subscribers, inviting them to read this article, to click a link to read this article. And then I'm going to paste it. And then once that's done, we have our email ready. Now, what you could be doing, which if you've watched any of my previous training on batching your work and creating content, then you would be scheduling this stuff for the future. So here we go. This gives us a nice little email. So we're going to add it to editor. Oops, and it actually pasted down here. So let me just grab it. Go delete, and I'm going to pop it right up here. Perfect. Now, you do want to make sure that you swap this stuff out, right? So I'm going to go over here, swap that to contact first name. I'm going to swap this to my first name, or you could just put your name in here. Or you could delete this because I have a signature set up on this account and it's all here for you already. Now, if you like this, you like what it says, you of course do want to go in here to include the link, right? So you want to link to your blog post. We'll give that a link. We'll insert that. Maybe we'll even give it a button if we said button, right? So now we've got that done. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to come back up to this and say, write an email subject line for this message. And we can have it create that for us as well. There you go. So that's, again, it's just a suggestion. Obviously, it's not, you're going to want to make sure that it fits you, but I'm going to go ahead and copy that to clipboard and paste that in here. And this would be, put your name in here. And then of course you could schedule this to go out. Pretty cool, right? So there's so much more you can do with this. That's literally just one example. So if you have something that you would like to learn how to do, if you have an example of something that you would like to see, then let's definitely talk about that. And if you could, pretty please, because we can get really busy in the chat. I don't want to miss anything that you have to say. If you could put the questions you have into the Q&A, would be happy to go through any of those with you. Let me see. Okay, Carrie says, can you give us an example of how to use this for a social media post? Yeah, totally. So let's go back over here. And again, the great place to do this is just from right over here where it says write with AI. So again, what I would do here, if you are someone who, if you have something that has specific significance this week, maybe you are promoting something in particular, you do want to, all it knows is that you're a business owner. So you may want to provide it that additional context, right? So I am someone who creates this kind of content for this kind of person. Give me 5 ideas for Facebook posts that I can release this week. Or I want to create a Facebook post, or I want to create a Twitter post or a LinkedIn post or something like that that does whatever, right? And then it would give you that. So I actually haven't done this for social media before yet, but let's just, okay, so I am a yoga teacher with online classes and want to promote my upcoming class series, starting off with a free complimentary class. Write a social media post inviting my followers to learn more about the class and get their free pass. So let's see what it says. And you may want to, again, just depending on your business and what you're promoting, you're going to want to really refine how you ask it to do what you want it to do. I would equate this to being a good manager, right? If you've ever had to hire someone and you've had to outsource work that you've needed done, or you needed to delegate work, you've probably found that you get the best results the more clear you are. And you probably found out starting off that you didn't quite know what being clear meant. And working with someone over time, you start to understand them. So this is going to be kind of similar. So the AI says, this is actually pretty cool. And it gives you a bunch of, look at this, look at it, give you hashtags. Oh, and give you emojis too. Look at that. That's fantastic. So I think this is a good starting off point for you, Carrie. And I think this is maybe specifically relevant to what you do. So hopefully that is helpful. Could we use this for a course workbook? I think so, Dana. What I would do, because a course workbook could be quite large, what I would do is maybe use AI to generate sort of a framework for your course. So first an outline, and then the content. And then for maybe each section, you would say, write a guide, right? So write a guide on how to do blah, 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 right? And here's the content that we're covering for this. You are going to want to just get really specific. So you would use it for a course workbook, but I don't think that you're going to give it a command and have it spit out everything for the course workbook in one go. There would be some layers of back and forth between you and the AI to get that done. Angela says, would you copy and paste what it initially writes into, say, a Google document? Sometimes it depends. So what I did at the beginning of our examples here was I was actually copying and pasting in that first ideation process into a notes app. So like once you get to a point where there's something that you really like. But another reason why you may want to do something like that is, let's just say, for example, you've created a blog post. Once you have used AI to create that blog post and it looks exactly as you want it to, you're going to want to take all of that blog post content and copy it. And you could keep it on your clipboard if you're going straight over to your list to message people and let them know about it. Or you could pop it into a document. And that may actually be something that you should do either way, because if you've done your keyword research, you're going to want to actually look at what the AI wrote and find ways to better incorporate your keywords strategically. So I actually would put it into a document, because what they're creating for you is not your finished product, but it is a fantastic starting point. Okay, let's see what else. On another topic, would you please help me to set the colors of my brand in AttractWell? Of course, Peggy. Yeah, we could do that. That's pretty simple. Actually, let me show you where you can go to do that. One thing that I do recommend, Peggy, if you have Canva and you have a brand kit in Canva, or if you have your brand colors on some kind of a document of some kind, I recommend that you have two windows open next to each other on your screen, because then you can go and grab really easily. I don't know if I'm signed into Canva on this device. Bear with me real quick, and I will figure out if I am. Okay. Let me make sure that I'm in here, and then I can actually show you this in real time. But basically what you're going to want to do is pull up your Canva brand kit or whatever document that you have that would have your brand colors. And then when you have those next to each other, you can go to the next step. And then that next step is going to be going into your fonts and colors in your AttractWell system and setting those up. Sometimes I do have a little bit of a headache with Canva, which it looks like, oh, I'm not going to have a headache with Canva today. So, all right, let me actually show you what I would do here. And I am actually on a smaller device than I normally am. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably do a full screen share with you. And so you can actually see what I mean by having the two documents or the two things open on your screen at the same time. So let me change my share here to my desktop. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to our menu. Oops, that's what we want to go to. We want to scroll down to colors and fonts right here. Okay, you can see that there are presets, but here are your brand colors. And this is actually showing up kind of like the way it would show up on a tablet, or if you're doing half of your screen, which I am here on a laptop computer. So I'm going to go down here to Brand Hub in Canva.
It looks like we're not seeing the right
Oh,
screen. It's frozen on YouTube.
got you. Okay, weird. That's okay. So it was doing a full desktop share. How about now?
I see Canva, the brand kit and everything. Yep.
Okay, and you can see this colors and fonts over here in AttractWell?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Let me go back over here so you can see where I found this. This is on menu, and you're going to scroll down here under website to colors and fonts. And that's where you're going to find these colors. Okay. Now, if you have, so here's Jane's palette, just as an example. You can actually see that some of these are accurate, but I could do what? No, they are all here. Okay. So basically what you're going to want to do is in your AttractWell account, you're going to decide based on your color palette, which you may have over here in your Canva. You're going to decide what you want to go where. So this is the color of the links on your website. This is the color where if you hover over a link, it will change color. So that's what that is. This is the headline font on your website, menu text, font color. When you hover over the menu text, I'll change this one because I don't really particularly like that. Let me click here. And you see that this pops up. This is going to be slightly different if you're on a PC. I'm going to go to show colors, and I'm going to grab my eyedropper here, and I'm going to go with this one and pick it. And so there you have that. You do have the option as well, regardless of what device you're on, to actually grab the color code that you see right here and to paste that in that way. So you can go through, and basically all of these custom colors and secondary, all of this is going to show up in your palettes when you go like to maybe modify your text in your AttractWell system, but you can have these all in here as presets. So once you have it done the way that you want, you just scroll on down, and actually you can change your buttons here as well. This is where you can actually click on your buttons. This one that is very much not red, we can go in and click that color, go show color, grab that eyedropper, and I'm going to make it actually red now. Maybe I want to make the text color white. And maybe I want to give it a shadow on the bottom border. I want to give it 1, maybe 2, and the color will be black. And there you go. Looks like it's kind of, oops, kind of popped up a little bit there. So that's how you would change that out. I hope that you were able to see that and that made sense to you. Okay. Free Canva account. Yeah, that's totally fine. Totally fine. The eyedropper reads the color that you hover it over. That's 100% correct. Yeah. So even if you used a completely different type of document creator or something, like you can create a brand kit with your colors in a word processor. They could be on an existing website, and you could just simply be selecting it off of paid, like colors you're already using on your website. You could do that as well. Perfect. Yeah, if you have it in PDF, have the PDF open on one side of the screen and your colors and fonts section in AttractWell open on the other one, and you'll be able to just go over and grab. Yep. That is right. Okay. Any other questions? I'm really excited to see how you guys are planning to use AI for your business and running this with AttractWell. Peter, that's a really good point. Save your instructions and directions, specifically any of the repetitive material, and copy and paste it when needed. Exactly. That context that I'm giving it. Again, it knows that you're a business owner and the purposes for which you're probably going to be writing. But if you tell it, this is who I am, this is the perspective I'm writing from, this is who I'm writing for. And yeah, if you're using keywords, in particular, if you have an SEO strategy for your entire website, you're going to want to have those keywords in mind here as well, and have that just in a document with stuff that you can grab really easily. 100%. Okay. That's going to save you crazy time. That's what we're here for, Peggy, saving you crazy amounts of time. All right. Is there a way to send group text to everyone who has texted my AttractWell number? I don't know that there's an easy way. Like, is there a way, Greg, to like only identify people who have ever texted your AttractWell number directly?
I don't think so. And I know there's no like group texting capability. Like, I know on my personal cell phone, I can start a chat with 5 people, 10 people, whatever. All the texting in AttractWell is one-to-one, even if it's just like a bulk broadcast. You can send to 100 people, but it's 100 individual texts. So doesn't sound like maybe we have what you're looking to do there. But yeah, I mean, I suppose you could check chat, depending on how many people have texted you. If you click chat in there, if it's not a whole lot, I think it shows the last 50 or so. But yeah, it looks like.
Oh, sure. Yeah, okay. Tanya, here, let me let you come, and I'm on such a smaller screen today than I normally am. Forgive me. All right, and Brandon, if you're here, I don't think I see you, but well, at the very least, I'll show you how to solve your problem if you are tuning in to watch this later. Hi, Tanya. You are free to unmute.
Oh, okay, sorry. Hi. I am using my text on my podcast as an opt-in. And so I've asked my listeners to text the word community to get information about my upcoming membership. And so as those texts come in, is there a way to tag the people or just text only the people who have used that word? I'm not sure
Yes.
how that works.
Yeah, so actually when that person texts in that code from their phone number, they are tagging themselves with that code at the same time. That's actually how that works, right?
So then I can send
Yeah.
a broadcast to everybody who has that tag.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you have, I mean, you do have to set up a campaign that has that text and keyword on it. If you are just asking people in general to do that and you don't have a campaign set up, then I guess that would not tag them in that way. So you would want to make sure you have a campaign set up that has a keyword on it, which you don't even have to have any messages in reply, because normally that's how like the text and keyword works. You know, people are like text in or, you know, ABC to my number to get information about whatever. So that would be something you'd have to do, but you would not have to set up a reply at all if you didn't want to. It would just tag them.
Mhm.
Okay, so at this point, if someone texts it, it's not tagging them unless I have that campaign set up.
Right. Otherwise, it's just a message.
And then
Mhm.
I set up the campaign specifically linked to the texts versus the emails,
Here,
or
I'll show you real quick. Let me get back over here. Okay. Okay, so basically you're going to go to campaigns. You're going to create a new campaign. And in the setup, you're going to give it that text and keyword right here. And it's going to have a name. You're going to prefer to send it via text, or maybe it'll be text only, right? Because this is only supposed to be used for text. So this text and keyword is what they're going to get tagged with. And of course, once you create this on the next page, then you can send, you know, a confirmation message to them if you want to. But that's like basically, so long as you have this set up with that text and keyword, when they text this keyword, they're going to be tagged with that keyword.
okay. And would it matter if somebody used the keyword in a different context? I can't think of an example right now, but is it like just the word alone in a text, or will it pick up the word in any text?
It's just the word alone. Yes, the keywords are going to work if they send that keyword.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is awesome.
Glad you could come out. Thanks. Okay, Dr. Henry, do you think this could help in drafting a bio? Totally. I would give it a little bit of a bio that maybe you already have. Give it a starting point because it's not going to know you, right? So put in some information about yourself, your profession, your achievements, who you want to help, how you help them, and then let it write that. So you want to give it a lot of good material to start with. If you're going to have it write about you, because it's probably not going to know about you. Okay, good question. Good question. Peggy, this is a little off topic, but I can answer this. So Peggy says, I'm thinking of taking Marie Forleo's The Copy Cure. It's a lot of money, but we'll do it if it's worth it. Are you familiar with the course? And if so, would you recommend it? I personally have The Copy Cure. I think it's a phenomenal course. And I think that if you are in the world of creating courses and creating premium courses, I can think of few examples that are even as good as she is at what she does and how she does it. So there's two really great reasons to have it. Number one, the content in it is actually really good, and you keep it updated and you retain access to it. I think I bought my access in like 2020. I still have it. I could still come back and take it every time she runs it. And then importantly, you are able to follow a really, really good example of a professional marketer and copywriter too, because Laura Belgray is a part of that. And she is just hands down easily my favorite copywriter of all time. So that's my take. I'm not an affiliate for them. Maybe one day. Okay. So that is it for the questions. We did have a request Brandon, if you're here under a different name, then pretty please let us know by raising your hand or just hopping into the Q&A. But we did have a request for today to show how you might embed a YouTube playlist onto a page in AttractWell. And in Brandon's case, I think he's beginning a YouTube podcast, but there is not really a real distinction in how YouTube displays either on their site or, through external embedding on other sites. Playlists of videos, just YouTube channel videos versus a playlist of podcasts, which are on YouTube. They're still videos. Podcast is just a separate category. So what I want to show you guys is how you can go and grab a playlist, whether that be from your videos or from a podcast, and get that embedded onto your AttractWell site. So maybe we can play around here for a second. Who would like to maybe see how we might create a podcast page in AttractWell? Would that be helpful to you? Let me know. And we can actually kind of run through the whole setup here. Awesome. So let's go into AttractWell and we're going to create a page. Now, before you even start on this, you are going to want to grab, if your podcast is YouTube based, then cool, good to go. But if your podcast is maybe on other platforms, you do want to go and grab your link from those platforms that allows people to subscribe. If you can obtain a link that takes them straight to like, I am subscribing, right? Not like visit the page, but like go straight to add this to my list of podcasts that I'm subscribed to. That's going to convert better for you, just as a quick tip. But let's create a page for a podcast. I'm going to start with a blank slate, and you can just kind of follow this set of steps here to create your own. So the first section that I want here is a photo left, text right. This is where you're going to put a logo for your podcast. Another cool thing you could do is you could take your podcast logo and go into Canva with this. Here, let me actually replace this photo and show you what I mean. I'm going to click the Canva button. I'm going to swap this out for a logo, which is just a square size. We'll open up in Canva. It always goes through this whole cookie step, even if I've recently given it permission. So first, you want to make sure that you've got a logo for your podcast and you've got that in your Canva account as an image. But then what you're able to do once you have that image is that you can click the image itself and you can add it to what's called a mockup, which is one of the apps that's in Canva. Or you can use a feature that's called Elements, and you could find a frame that you could drop it into. So we can actually, this is pretty simple. We'll say phone frame. We'll look for that. There we go. And we're going to make him big. You can change the color of the phone if you want to, and its features up here if you like. But now where you see this, you can actually drag something over. So I wonder if I have any like logos uploaded that I can move in. Let me see. I'm gonna find something that's actually not like specific to anything, because there are real podcast logos in here. Okay, we're going to pretend that this Zoom meetings, this is our podcast logo. Obviously, this is not looking great because of how this is set up. Obviously, I wasn't planning this. Here, how about this? Let me pop this guy in here. Drag him in, and then what you can do, if it doesn't set up the way you want, you can double click the image and you can adjust it. Anyway, I don't want to do too crazy much with this, but just for the sake of time, here we go. We'll put that in there. We'll center him. And then we'll send it to AttractWell. But yeah, you want to be working with more than I am here today with your podcast logo, suffice to say. So basically get that here, put in, your call to action, name of podcast, tell the AI about your podcast and invite people to subscribe, pop that in right here, right? You're going to want to put a link to subscribe on the other podcast platforms, that's where you want this button to go. Now, and this is actually getting to the point where I'm addressing Brandon's question. This is the next thing I would do is I would create a header and footer, and I would put maybe watch the replays. Right, so now I've got a section here, and now down here, I will put a general 1 column, no header. Okay, and now I have this section. Now we need to go and grab that embed from YouTube. So what I'm going to do is go over here. This is the AttractWell page. So go to your YouTube channel. And on this list here, you're going to see podcasts if you have a YouTube podcast. For now, I'm going to show you how to embed a playlist because it's going to work 100% the same way. So what you're going to do is go to your playlist, find the one that you're looking for, and you're going to go to view full playlist. And where it says share right here, we're going to click embed. And this is what they're going to see. And actually you'll see here that they can copy the link, they can start playing right away, or they can actually see everything if they click up here. So this is how it's actually going to look when it embeds on your site. So we want to copy this code. So click copy. And let's go back over to AttractWell. And right here, I want to center. I want to add video. And then I'm going to come down here to embed code, paste the code, and click use embed code. Now it is going to give me something that I feel like is relatively small. So I want to click this. I'm going to scroll down a little bit and I want to drag it until it reaches the corners of the section. I want the full possible width here. And I'm going to click done. And there he is. And of course, here, when we preview the page, you can see that the replays are available here, and they can just click right here and see all of the previous episodes or videos in this case. Now, another thing that you might consider doing, if you are someone who is sending out emails about your podcast on a regular basis, is that in lieu of having these subscribe on different platforms right here, you could go into your settings and capture leads here and tag them with podcast list. And so you can actually have people sign up here, right? And you can, of course, include additional, so maybe down here underneath you have, subscribe on here, subscribe on there, wherever those links are. But if you are someone who's just doing a YouTube podcast, which I think might be the case for Brandon, use this section right here to encourage people to subscribe to the list so that they get all of your updates. Right. And so you do that under the page settings, and you're just using this like a landing page, like you would with any other landing page. And that is basically it. And do definitely double check. Let's see if my dragging the sides of it impacts how it shows up here. It did not. Fantastic. That's good. Yeah, so everything is still working just fine, even on the smaller screen. So make sure that you always double check that before you publish and start sending this out. Let me see. Oh, Tana has one. Can we, well, you put it into the chat. I assume that means we can look at it. Let's go look. Oh, this is good. And tell me how. She knows the formula. She knows the formula right here. Yes. That's great. So you actually see the podcast in the phone. It doesn't have to just be your logo. You've got some headphones here. You've got a call to action. Get notified. Love it. And it's bright, beautiful. This is fantastic. Oh, and you've got an embed here from your podcast player. That's also a great thing that you can do. Oof, I love it. Thank you for sharing. Really good job. Okay, what else? Okay, now you've also seen, I think, Tammy, you asked how you can integrate Canva. So you're not actually connecting Canva to your AttractWell, you're using your Canva while you're in AttractWell. So if you need to swap an image out, then there's a Canva button you can press. And if you're actually in Canva, you're logged into Canva already, then you'll be able to utilize your existing designs, your existing brand palette, et cetera, to be able to just create directly from within AttractWell. Okay, do we have any other questions? let me see, Erica, yeah, reach out to our team. Reach out to our team. And of course, if you are, if you're interested in like being on a call like this one, we can sit down. Like if you go to attractwell.com/work review, you and I on next week's call, there's space next week. You and I on next week's call can sit down and walk through and talk through anything that you'd like as well to help you with getting started. The final thing, if you're new, and you haven't really started utilizing AttractWell yet, especially if you are a little newer in business, this is going to be of extremely high value to you. But even if you are an established business, the sort of order of operations that I share with you here and all the resources, I think are a really great jumping off point for a lot of people. So if you go into your AttractWell, you go under My Account, go to Settings, scroll down to find the Launch Challenge, which is right here. Click this, opt yourself in, and you're going to get access to a complete series of workshops and modules that take you through all of the key systems that run your business and how you can run and manage those with AttractWell. So this is a really good place to start. But if you really want to talk through this, we're here. So you can reach out to our team that's support@attractwell.com, or if you'd like, you can actually, we can work together on an upcoming call as well. Let me see. Tammy says, if I'm logged into my Canva, when I click the Canva link inside AttractWell, will it open my Canva? Yes. Yes. If you're logged in, then you'll be able to actually access, if you go to your projects folder, you can see your existing stuff that's in there, your logos, your colors, your fonts, all of that is there. Because all it's doing is just sort of providing like a tunnel into Canva from AttractWell. Like if you're logged into your Canva, like it's just going to let you reach through AttractWell and like grab the thing from your Canva and put it into your AttractWell without having to do it in 2 screens. Don't you love my tech explanations? Don't I sound like I know what I'm talking about? All right. Is there a way? Let me see. I think I got it all. How to save my color choices. Tammy, let me bring you out to chat real quick. Is that okay with you? Can I bring you out to chat? Because we can definitely talk through this for sure. And we've got a couple minutes to do that. Okay. There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Historically, templates don't really work that well for me, so I tried the custom builder. Still found it to be a little bit limiting and, just playing around, but I want to be able to save, the font choices and the branding colors, and that just wasn't clear to me
You mean
yet.
in Canva or in AttractWell?
No, in AttractWell. I'm
Yeah.
trying to create my first page. And then
Got
once
you.
my first page is done, I want to submit it to you guys for even more help.
Got you. Okay. So the way that you're going to want to do that first is over here under colors and fonts, because this creates a preset for your entire website. So all of these colors are going to be here and available to you. The fonts that you've selected, or if you want to use something that's more custom, use the Customize My Site page, where you can actually get into custom fonts that maybe you've uploaded or from Google or what have you. But once you've actually selected the fonts that you want in your system, or if you want to go with what we have already, then you can always just set these, right? So your headline is always going to be this, whatever font you select here. Maybe it's bold, maybe it is extra large. You can actually see the preview down here. Maybe it's normal, but it's always uppercase for headlines. So you can actually preset these things so that when you are in your editor, for example, and something is headline 1 or header 1 or header 2, it's always going to be this font. And it's going to be whatever the preset is, and same for body.
Yay, that's exactly what I was looking for. And I never even dreamed that we would be able to get more fonts. I was just resigned to accept that I was stuck with those 8 choices or so that come up. So that's super awesome.
Every Google font, you can actually go into the Customize My Site page and pick any Google font that you want, and it automatically loads into your system. But if you have a font that you've paid for, if somebody made a font for you, like all of those are options for you here as well. It's just a matter of a couple of extra steps.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, fantastic. Oh, let me see. Angela, you've got something exciting to share here. Wanted to let you know my campaign is doing great. 26 signups after 5 days, and everyone loves the process. Oh, that's awesome. I happen to know what Angela is talking about. Angela is hosting a book club using AttractWell. And basically what she's doing is she is having people sign up. So they're going to a page on her website. They're signing up for this book club. And then once they sign up, they're given a sort of rundown of how things are going to go. And because it's a date-based campaign, once they start having these calls, they're automatically, no matter when they signed up, if they sign up midway through it, they're going to get a call weekly for, you know, the reminder the day before. They're going to get an email that gives them the Zoom link to join. They're going to get another email that's going to say, here's where you can catch the replay. And she's keeping all of this in a community where they can discuss things inside of a vault in AttractWell. So very exciting. Looking forward to seeing where that goes. She's doing it's a book club on one of Dr. Joe Dispenza's books, which is super exciting. So awesome. Thank you guys for all of your time here today, all of your wonderful questions. Keep them coming. I want to extend that invitation again. If you are at a place where you aren't really clear on where to go next, or you've gotten some work done, but you just feel like you want a little bit of help, some eyes on what you're doing, attractwell.com/work review, all one word. Sign up and we can talk, sit down, have dedicated space on a call like this one. Blast through any of those problems that you're dealing with, any of the hurdles in your way, so we can get this stuff done. So look forward to seeing what you've done with AI next time we get together. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week, same time. Take care, everybody.